Legend of Slappy Hooper, an American tall tale told by Aaron Shepard.
You've heard about Pod Bunny, the greatest lumberjack of all time, and you've heard about Pecos Bill, the greatest cowboy. Now let us tell you about the world's biggest, fastest, bestest sign painter.
That's me, Slappy Hooper.
You'd believe Slappy was the biggest when he was 7 feet tall, with shoulders to match, and he weighed 300 pounds, even without his cap and the cover-on bucket.
And fastest?
Just give me an 8-inch brush.
The job was done.
And so smooth you'd never see a brush stroke.
And you bet Slappy was the bestest. That was on account of his pictures.
No one else ever made them so true to life.
In fact, some folks said they were too true to life.
Slappy's trouble started with the huge red rose he painted on the sign for Rose's florist shop.
Slappy, it's too real. I can just about smell the fragrance.
But a week later, Rose Red fluttered into Slappy's sign shop.
Slappy, that sign of yours was too good.
Too good?
That's right. The bees got wind of it and swarmed all over the road trying to get in. They carried all my customers, and that was bad enough. But wait till you see what's happened now.
When they reached the flower shop, Slappy saw that the bees were gone, but the rose had withered and died.
No one buys from a florist shop, from a florist with a wilted flower on her sign. That's the last thing they'll pay for me, Slappy Hooper.
The story got around, but most folks just laughed, and they still wanted Slappy to do their signs.
His next job was to paint a billboard for the Eagle Messenger service. Slappy painted an eagle 3 times larger than life.
Amazing! It's so real. I could swear I saw it blink. Wait a minute, I did see it blink.
The bird flapped its wings and flew right off the billboard.
That sign's too good. That's the last thing you work for me, Slappy Hooper.
Folks were getting scared to hire Slappy Hooper, but at last he got a job from the Sunshine Travel Agency. The billboard was to show a man and a woman on the beach twisting under the hot sun. Slappy painted it the day after a big snowstorm.
Wonderful! Why, that sun makes me feel hot. And look, the snow on the sidewalk is melting.
But a couple of days later, Slappy got a call.
Slappy, your sign is too good. Get down here right away.
When Slappy arrived, he saw that the sidewalk and street in the front of the billboard were covered with beach chairs. People sat around in swimsuits, sunglasses, sipping lemonade, and splashing suntan lotion.
They're blocking traffic and the mayor blames me. Besides, they won't need my travel agency if they take their vacations here. You've got to do something, Slappy.
So Slappy set up his gear and got to work. He painted the sun on the billboard much harder. Before long, the crowd was sweating buckets and complaining of sunburn. Then everybody packed up and left.
Good work, Slappy. Look at that!
The man and the woman on the billboard were walking off too. Just then a lick of flame shot up the wall of the building across the street. Slappy's sign had set it on fire. A few minutes, fire trucks clamped up and firefighters turned hoses on fire.
Slappy, try something else.
Slappy got back to work. He painted a storm cloud across that sun, but he had to jump clear when the cloud shot bolts of lightning. And the storm broke. Slappy's cloud rained so hard the billboard overflowed and flooded on Main Street.
Never again, Slappy Hooper.
After that, no one ever would hire Slappy Hooper. It looked as if his sign painting days were done. Slappy felt so low, he made up his mind to throw his paint kit in the river. He dragged it onto the tallest bridge in town and was just about to check it when a voice thundered out beside him.
Don't dump that gear, Slappy. You're going to need it.
Right next to Slappy stood a man almost as big as Slappy himself. He wore a paint-splashed white coverall and a cap with 2 angel wings sticking out. He carried an 8-inch brush.
Who are you? I'm Michael from the Heavenly Sign Company. The boss has had an eye on you for some time, Slappy, and he likes your work. He's got a job for you, if you don't mind working on the rain. Tell me about it. We need someone to paint a rainbow this Wednesday. Most of the time we handle all the rainbows ourselves, but it's going to rain in a bunch of places Wednesday, and we could sure use some help. I'm your man.
That Wednesday morning, Slappy rented a cannon and set it in a big cow pasture. He tied 2 ropes to a scaffold, then ran the other ends through a couple of skyhooks. Then he loaded the skyhooks in the cannon and shot them straight up. Sure enough, the skyhooks caught the sky. Slappy felt the first raindrops. He piled all of his paints and brushes onto a scaffold, climbed on it, and hoisted himself up, and up. He kept going till he was just under the clouds. Then he tied his rope and started to paint. He had only just finished when the sun popped through the clouds and lit up what he'd done. There never was a finer rainbow. It had every color you could imagine, each one blending perfectly with the next.
And not a brushstroke in sight.
Just then Slappy felt a big jolt. He looked up to see what had caused it.
Oh no!
The sun had run smack into his skyhooks. Slappy shut his eyes and waited for the long drop to the ground, but it never came. When Slappy looked up again, he saw why.
For heaven's sake!
Slappy's hooks had caught onto the sun itself, and the sun was pulling his rig across the sky. Now another time he reminded him friend, but not Slappy Hooper. He was enjoying the ride. He covered a good distance when Michael appeared on the scaffold beside him.
Boss liked your rainbow, Slappy. You mean it wasn't too good? If it isn't too good, it is not good enough. That's how we figure. Anyhow, now that you're here, the boss has another job for you. If you don't mind working odd hours. Tell me about it. It's sunrise and sunset. Now, I guess you know the boss himself has been painting them since time began, but he's done it so long, he'd like to give someone else a chance. I'm your man.
Slappy's been up there ever since. Of course you can't see him, but the sun's so bright, but he's up there all the same, night and day. The sun pulls Slappy and his rig around the world, and every time Slappy comes to rest, he reaches up with his 8-inch brush. The job is done.
And never a brushstroke in sight.
Narrator 1, Ed Rose Red, played by
Lila Jacobs.
Narrator 2, Baldwin Eagle, Michael, and Ray Sunshine, played by
The amazing Claudia Wright.
Slappy Hooper, played by
Anderson Acey.
This is a production of Center Stage Productions. Woo! That's a wrap.